Italian Football Podcast.
Super League. We're just going to do a little Super League update. We know Nima is very big on the Super League in terms of knowing what's going on. So today we've had an update. It's been reported as this. I'm just going to read out the report from this. This is from Football Transfers. The European Super League has suffered a damaging loss at the European Court of Justice, throwing the project, which has been headed by Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus, into jeopardy. In the case, the Advocate General of the court ruled that UEFA is not in breach of European competition rules. It is not a final judgment. The Advocate General has simply advised the European Court in the performance of his duties. However, it is a strong indication that the final ruling, which is due in March 2023, will not be in favour of the breakaway. In an official statement, the Advocate General writes, whilst the ESLC, which is the European Super League company, is free to set up its own independent football league outside of UEFA and FIFA's ecosystem, it cannot continue to participate in the football competitions organised by FIFA and UEFA without the prior consent of those federations. The Advocate General adds, among other things, that the rules of UEFA and FIFA are not in conflict with EU competition rules. International associations, like member federations of their national leagues, are also free to threaten sanctions if clubs enter a new league that undermines the goals of the federations of which they are members. That seems quite open-ended, that last bit. But anyway, what do you make of this?
I think that this is really. I mean, first of all, it's a non-binding opinion. It's a ruling based. It's like a pre-ruling, if you will, by the Attorney General giving his opinion, and it's non-binding on the matter. The ruling itself is expected in March 2023. Now, what it also says is that it basically says that in his opinion, in his initial opinion, the Attorney General, it hasn't been ruled on by the courts, by the judges yet, but in his initial opinion, he thinks that it doesn't violate the EU law. It doesn't violate EU's anti-competition law for FIFA and UEFA to regulate their own federations, kind of thing. But it also says that if the European Super League clubs wish to break away, they can. No one's stopping them. However, it also says that the sanctions that they might suffer, they have to know beforehand. They have to be proportionate. They have to be all of these things. But they're opening the door to that. That's a really interesting thing that they're saying, because the European Super League clubs, something that's been lost in all of this, is that the European Super League clubs have wanted all along that UEFA be the admins of the new European Super League. I think that's going to die. That vision is not going to happen because UEFA aren't going to budge. The question is, what does FIFA do? That's the main thing here, because UEFA is the confederation, but it's a member of FIFA. Can the European Super League cut a deal with FIFA here? Can they? And we know that Infantino's been open to this in the past, because UEFA is getting very powerful and FIFA doesn't like having its authority questioned. And also, what happens? Do they, what actually happens in March? How does the ruling, how does it read like? Do they say that they can break away, but then UEFA are allowed to punish them, but they have to make the punishment? I mean, all of these, there's a lot of unknowns here, but for me, I'm not surprised at all. I saw a lot of people saying this is a heavy blow for the European Super League. I don't think it's a heavy blow at all. It was a completely expected initial ruling from the Attorney General saying what he believes, how the law should be interpreted. And I think even the dumbest, worst EU law first year law student could have told you that, because that's how it works. They've basically just reiterated how everyone know that the EU competition law works. I think the fact that the European Super League clubs were hoping for UEFA to make amends with UEFA was just so naive. It was never going to happen. I mean, it makes no sense. Why would you're part of a club, but you don't want to be a part of that club? Well, you have to make up your mind. Either you're part of the club or you're not part of the club. And that's the decision they have to make. I think they have to. I think they have to make up their minds here, and I think they know that. And I think once the ruling is issued, then I think the European Super League clubs will say, look, we tried to stay in UEFA, but UEFA, now we're going to try to communicate and work out a deal with them. I mean, if this is the ruling that actually comes in March, which could not, there is a big chance that there is still a chance that this could be that there could be a different ruling. I mean, the Attorney General is not the judges; that's just his legal opinion, and you can have different legal opinions. This happens all the time in the legal community. If this is the final ruling, then I think they will have to face the fact that they just have to break away. It's as simple as that.